All right, guys, welcome back to Views. I am so super excited and happy to say I have the queen backstage. Okay, Miss Joy is in the building. Welcome. Let's go. Okay,
Let's go.
I am so super excited. Okay, period. Okay, okay. Hold on, I'm getting applause here. Yes, welcome. Okay. So first of all, everybody literally thinks you're still the winner. They even though you weren't the winner, I literally believe that everybody wished it was you. And
Oh,
I'm a little bit included in that as well. So I want to get started with a few questions. First I want to say thank you for coming on my channel. And I really appreciate you taking time out to come and interview with me, Commission Reviews.
yes,
One
of
of the
course.
questions I wanted to ask you about was I looked at your your profile and how athletic you are, which I want to get into that a little bit too. But what made you get into a game like this and reality TV? Because it's a game and reality TV.
Yeah, for sure. Kamisha, thank you for having me on. I think you're such a breath of fresh air.
Oh,
I've been
wow.
watching a couple of your podcasts. You're amazing. You interview very well. So kudos to you. You're
Thank
professional.
you.
You do your job really well. So yeah, thanks again for having me.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
so how I got involved in this show. As a kid growing up, my parents and I would bond over competitive reality TV shows with Survivor. And my
Mm,
mom turned me on to Big Brother. Rest in peace to my mother. Unfortunately, she passed away from ovarian cancer a few years ago, but
okay.
I know she was in heaven rooting me on this
Mm,
show. And
yes.
I think it was a blessing in disguise that I was able to get, something as extraordinary as this show. Um, and yeah, with I'm a natural athlete. Like I
Hmm.
played sports
Yeah.
in school. I had my baby 5 years ago, and I gained over 60 pounds, and I was so unhappy with my
Hmm.
body, and I wanted to transform myself. I thought I want to be the best mother for my son and my husband,
Hmm.
and I put fitness first. And I have a very supportive family who encouraged me to be a happy wife and to live the life that I dream. And that kind of goes hand in hand with the show. I have a very supportive husband, and he, we got the casting message via social media, and we both thought it was like a scam.
Oh,
We did
yo,
our
really?
Yes, I was like,
Wow.
what is this? How did they find me? I don't have a huge following.
Right.
But they reached out to me and they asked me if I would be interested, and it was no brainer. My husband encouraged me to go, and he said, "You know what? I think your mom would really want you to do something like this, and I think you should do it." So I decided to go for it.
Wow. That's first of all, I
Yeah,
want to say I'm sorry for your loss, your
thank you.
mother. Um, wow. First of all, that's a beautiful thing, a beautiful story. I love the connection with that. That's everything. Especially the fact that you said y'all watch those shows that are so like it's popular, but you don't hear about people of color watching it and rooting it on. So I was like overjoyed when you said just now. I was like, oh my god, so she was into it too. So we're gonna get into that as well.
Yes.
Let's get into this since we want to play Big Brother. Taylor, first black woman, dark skin or brown skin, we'll say black woman who won. For you to be on a reality show, okay, even though it kind of came out, after her win, I'm not sure when it was taped exactly, but did you feel any kind of pressure, being a person of color, a woman, and to win, or just either pressure of it all? Because I can't imagine it's not many of us that you see on reality TV that's doing this type of stuff. It's just not many. So I just want to
Right.
know, was there any kind of pressure on your shoulders?
I put so much pressure on my shoulders to begin with.
Hmm.
I wear so many hats,
Gotcha.
and being on the show was like being in a pressure cooker. If you can
Mm.
imagine, our physical strengths were tested, our mental ability was tested. But getting back to Taylor, I watched her season aired once we got back from Australia. Actually, I watched the Cookout Big Brother. That's I call
Mhm.
it the Cookout Big Brother because they represented,
Right.
and
Exactly.
and then it was Taylor's season,
Mhm.
and oh my gosh, I cried when she won.
Mhm.
I was so proud of her
Yes.
because she was so resilient. She was a competitor. She held herself to a high regard. She exuded dignity and grace. And the way she maneuvered herself through that game and won in the
Yes.
end,
Yes.
I cried like a baby.
So
I
did
was so
I.
happy for her. Yeah.
Yes. So that's okay. Well, I'm gonna say this is for a lot of black little girls who watching, growing up watching the channel, the Real World Road Rules, watching you on the Mo is another win for us. Honestly, it's that you are athletic and that you're so good. You have like their fan base to me grew when you got out the house more because all I saw was Joy is the winner, Joy is the Mo, Joe's. You either was the Mo or you were the winner. It's like
I know.
so for you being, I know that it's pre-taped and edited and all this. I'm not sure what you guys saw if you were secluded. I wanted to ask, was it hard for you to know who the actual Mo was? Because at the end of the day, we didn't know as far as watching it. How hard was it for you to keep it a secret, or how did they even go? Because I don't know how this show works behind the scenes.
Yeah, for sure. It wasn't difficult for me to keep the mole a secret. You tell me a secret, you tell me not to divulge any information, and I won't do it. And I didn't want to spoil it for the fans.
Mm.
I don't like spoilers,
Okay.
and it I wouldn't have done the show any justice if I would have revealed who the mole was. I was excited about it, and I knew the fans were going to be excited about it. So just going on this journey with you guys and hearing your thoughts and man, like the hysterical kind of memes online, I think is great, and I enjoy going on the journey with the fans as well. Sometimes I had to like think to myself like am I the mole the way they edited me?
Right, girl. I'm telling you, it did look like that. I was like,
Yes.
"You crazy." Oh my god. Okay, now look, online, before we even got the interview started, there was a little bit of post that you put out about Jacob. I want you to get into that little tea a little bit and what was going on with that whole conversation and everything. Because that was good stuff, man.
Yes, let's get into it.
Hmm.
Jacob and I were like this on the show. In the beginning, I knew I could trust him. He was very percipient, very smart. And I remember this was off camera. We were kind of standing there, kind of getting ready for dinner. And he goes, Joy, do you trust them? And he kind of points at Avery and Will. And I said, not a chance. And then after that, it seemed like we started to talk more and we had a lot in common. And I was like, Jacob is my guy. Like, we are going to go far in this. And our strategy, and it was a very, very good one, we kept it low key. We didn't want everybody knowing that we were friends. We didn't want anybody. In fact, we pretended like we hated each other to the other cast,
Mm.
especially with the whole $25,000 debacle. Like, I was like, Jacob, you have to throw me under the bus, pretend to be upset with me. And we did it flawlessly. Our main strategy was to figure out who left, what player left on what other players vote, if that makes sense.
Yes.
We figured out that Samira had voted for Greg, and so we eliminated Greg off our list for the mole. And we threw suspicion on ourselves. I threw suspicion on Jacob. Jacob threw suspicion on me. Unfortunately, our girl Casey, she was our dear, dear friend.
Hmm.
But we made an alliance in the beginning, and we said we're going to make it so far. We're gonna be the last two standing, and so we kind of this was tough to do because Casey was our girl, but we had Casey thinking it was Jacob, which eliminated her from the show.
Right. Right.
But yeah, that was our strategy, and we did it. We did it brilliantly, I think.
I want to ask you about the questions really quick. So the quiz. basically, if you don't pick the right person that may or may not be a mole, I want you to kind of explain the question because there's a lot of debate online about what is the criteria to get the red or the green.
Yeah, so yeah, that's kind of difficult to explain. The quiz, pretty much in a nutshell, everyone took it, and whoever scored the lowest on the quiz went home. I don't know how they scored it. They pretty
Okay.
much just told us, whoever scores the lowest, and if there's a tie, whoever, I guess, took it the fastest will move on to the next round.
Interesting. Because that's something that seems so secret, but you want to know why did that person get the green? Why did they get the red? Or why did they? So it's like, oh, they didn't mold because they got the red. It was just a lot of debate online at the time when this was going on.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know. What made you what okay, in your opinion, why do you think everybody think that she would have mold? Like pretty much the season almost.
yeah. It was part of my game. I say I have a great poker face. I did everything in my power to throw suspicion on me, and I played the game according, to the mission. Everything that I said, everything that I did was intention, and I wanted people to think that I was the mole, and it worked because a lot of people were flushed out because they voted for me.
Oh my god, and it was brilliant. It was brilliant. It was like such a boss move. Everything you were doing.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, it was. It worked, like you said. So it was like, um, I don't know. It was just a wonderful thing to watch. I wanted you to win. Nothing against William, but
Oh. I wanted to win,
oh god.
Kamisha. Oh my gosh. But, a lot of people are like, why did it was right under her nose? Why didn't she choose Kasi? But there was so much that went into that final decision.
Mm,
I had actually been splitting my votes and going for Kazi there at the end, but that final quiz bit me in the butt. And I'll tell you this. I Jacob and I had, we would try to figure out which player was eliminated on, the remaining players that were in the game. And I told Jacob to get close to Sandy because we wanted to see how she was voting and see where her head was at. And I got wind that she was voting for Kazi. Unfortunately, that final quiz, I had in mind that Sandy had been going for Kazi, which eliminated her from the game, but I got my weeks mixed up. The
mm,
week the week Sandy went home, she voted for Avery, and that messed me up on that final quiz. And also, like I like I said, there's some bonus content out there. There were some missions, some challenges that unfortunately didn't make it, but I think that maybe Netflix will air it. I'm not sure, but there were some missions where Will was very suspicious, and it
really?
did not. Yes, and he lost money, and it didn't make the show. Um, and then just to backtrack, they didn't show him bidding $15,000 in the dossier mission, and I thought that was very strange. I'm like, I went high, but he also went high.
Wow.
And then there were a lot of behind the scenes conversations that happened that influenced my decision as well.
Okay. So
But
that's
all in all, my gut was telling me Kasi, and it was, oh gosh, if I could go back in time and change it, man, I'd do it in a heartbeat.
so you were suspicious of her though, right?
Oh, for sure, for
Okay.
sure. And I was going for her at the end. I was splitting my votes, and but that final quiz just kind of bit me in the butt. Kamisha, are you there? You're frozen. Um, can you hear me? If you can hear me, I'm gonna leave the chat and then okay, there you are.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's
My,
okay.
my son is on his game and like we shit his route and it's like oh. Anyway, but I wanted to know. I knew I was coming back. It just happens a lot, and I apologize.
It's okay.
Crazy. The weights you. I was like, wow. I mean, I know I'm not a weight person, but I used to be a really big fitness person, like back, like a few years back, and so you really want me to get back into it. But um, what made you get into that? Because I know you were
It's cutting in and out. You froze again. Can you hear me? Misha, can you see me? Can you hear me? Okay, I see
okay.
you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm not sure what.
it's cutting in and
Hold
out,
on.
but
I'm calling my. I'm so sorry. This has never happened before. This is ridiculous. Can you
it's
hear me
okay.
now? Are we good?
Yeah, yeah, I got you loud and clear.
I'm about to change my router in a minute. I wanted you to get into why you got into fitness and how you got started with that. I'm not sure if you heard me or not. I was asking, had anything happened in your life, like a health or anything in your family, to make you get into the fitness version that you are? Because it's fascinating and it's super strong. I watched on your videos today.
Oh yeah, for sure. Thank you for watching my videos.
Yeah,
I
no
got into
problem.
health and fitness heavily after my mom passed from cancer. It was an outlet for me when she passed away, and kind of towards the end
Mhm.
of her life. I would work out, and it was an outlet for me, and I kept it going, and I started to feel good about myself. I just had a baby, so as you can imagine, our hormones were everywhere. I just
Yeah.
experienced a loss, and I just had a new baby, and so I turned to movement, to being active and eating clean to help my mental and physical. And my body started to transform. I started to feel great about myself. I was a happy mother, a happy wife. Um, and I get the pats on the back on the butt from my husband, so I was
Hmm.
feeling sexy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and also I would get questions from friends and family and people online, and I said, you know what, I want to make this a passion. I want to help other women. I love helping other women. It's my passion. I love to see, I'm for women, like women empowerment. I love to see women transform their bodies from, after having a baby, or maybe just being a bit overweight and they want to lose weight. That's what I'm there for. I'm a coach to cheer them on and to give
Motivate.
them
Yes.
pointers and to
Mhm.
motivate them. Yeah, for sure.
I love that. And see, for women, especially with having a kid, you go through a lot. As far as how you look at yourself, it's a
Yeah.
lot. And when you have
Oh
that baby,
yeah.
the hormones. So I love that you do stuff like that. It's that's
Yes.
it's a lot to deal with, man. People don't realize that having a child is just so it's really a beautiful thing that you're doing.
Thank
During
you.
the show, did anyone ever reveal how they felt in the challenge as far as when Kessie left everybody on that cold floor?
Well, you
I
heard
felt like
my
we missed
reaction to
out.
that.
I was like, I wanted to see more because I was like, girl, I don't know how I would have felt. Like she got to the house, she sipping that
Oh,
little hot tea. Yeah, yeah, like you look like you was so irritated. You was like, girl, like.
yeah. I
So I
actually
want to
thought
know.
I thought the mission was going to go fine. I thought we were all going to get out of there and we were going to
Mhm.
go meet Alex and drink some wine, have a beautiful meal together. I didn't think anybody would take it. I really didn't. But yeah, we were shocked. You heard my scream. I was like,
Yes,
no, she didn't.
yes,
But you know
yes.
what? The rest of the cast, we're like, it's a game. I had taken $25,000, so I really couldn't say much. But you know, we just kind of laughed it off. And
Really?
yeah, and Greg and I, like, we were kind of gossiping about the whole situation and just kind of making light. But yeah, I mean, it was very uncomfortable for sure. And we were upset, but at the end of the day, it's a game, and she did what she had to do, and she was the mole, so it
Right. So
was
that's
her
so
job.
so so doing what you got to do for you when you had that choice to get the money or that red card. What made you choose to put the money back in the bank? Because I was like, when at the cliffhanger, I know we were all trying to decide what is she gonna do, and I was like, I would just took the little card, I rolled out. I mean, self preservation, self
You know
preservation.
what? Yes, yes, I know. But like I said before, I was there to play the game.
Mm,
Everything that I did game wise, I thought about it.
yeah.
And I had to pivot, I had to adjust my game sometimes. And so for that, uh, not taking the card, I wanted to see Will's emotions with that. That's why I was kind of like
Mm,
I was toying with him because I knew I was going to put them. I knew I was going to clip the cord and add the money to the pot.
okay.
So he gave me a reaction like he was upset and he really wanted me to put the money in the pot. And that night I'm like, okay, well, Will can't be the mole. Like he wants it too bad. But I'd already taken $25,000 out of the pot. And I wanted to add more money, and I wanted the team to see me as a team player, but also think, okay, what kind of mind game is she playing right now? She's taking money, but she's putting money into the pot. Um, what's her game? What is she doing right now? So I wanted to cause just a little bit of chaos to keep them on
Okay,
their
that
toes
makes
and to
sense
keep them
too.
thinking. Yeah,
Strategic. You actually,
yeah.
because you did a lot of strategic movement in the game. Actually, a lot of things that you did just was so smooth. You and Constantine too. It's like even when you missed stuff, I was like, I don't think she's doing this on purpose. I think that she's really doing this. Like, okay, let's talk about the whole you flying the plane and you not getting all this. I'm pretty sure you didn't know anything that was gonna happen on the air and how everybody was just doing being crazy, saying, "Well, I wouldn't fly with her, whatever." And like even he said on my interview, he said, "Well, her map was not showing anything. What kind of direction was she?" So I want you to kind of get into that a little bit.
Yeah, I saw Pranav and Avery and Jacob's interview. Yeah, and like they said, the maps weren't real maps. They were drawn with crayon and colored pencils. And if you listen to my Entertainment Tonight interview, I kind of talk about that first challenge, and that I saw the map and I was like, you know what, this it's a bunch of garbage on it. And I must clarify, navigating in the air, navigating in a rainforest is two totally different things.
Hmm.
We fly via waypoints. We have a GPS system, and it's pretty straightforward. And if we load, garbage into our flight system, then we're not going to get to our final destination. It was the same thing with the maps on the show. They were garbage. And on that first mission, I kind of giggled to myself and I said, this is it's a bunch of garbage on this map. My teammates are going to want me to take the lead. And I decided, you know what? Why not? I kind of giggled to myself and I'm like, I'm here to play this game. And with everything that I've done, that I did in the game, from the $25,000 to the, she can't read a map. I wanted to cause suspicion on myself. I wanted to deceive the rest of the bunch, and I think I did just that. Um, but yeah, it's silly because I think I saw something where somebody said, "What airline does she work for?" And I was like,
Yeah.
right into my company.
I was like,
Do
wow.
it. It has nothing to do with my career. It was two totally different things.
Right.
I'm an airline pilot. I fly the plane. I manage the airplane. I get my passengers from point A to point B very safely. I was playing a game, and I did what I had to do to survive, and that's how I became a finalist.
But they did team too much with that. I was like, that's really so when he was saying it, I was like, wow, are you serious that they really was saying that? But I mean, that's
Yeah.
too much is happening. But I like how you kind of brush it off like whatever, do
Oh
whatever you
yeah.
gotta do. I mean, it is what it is. Because you gotta how are you dealing with the haters too? Because I know you have those as well. Because
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah. People would come, leave a not so nice comment on my page, but my name is Joy. Like
Hmm.
I'm a joyful person, and to the haters, I say I love you. I do, and I thank you for supporting our show. I thank you for going on this journey with us. I can't. I can't give that any mind. You know, I'm a busy woman. I have a lot going on, and I can't I can't dwell on that. But I come from a place of love, and I sincerely mean it when I say that I love the people that are supporting us, and I focus on all the positive. To be honest, but yeah, with whatever you do, you're gonna have haters.
Yeah, unfortunately. But look how you handle
Yeah,
that. You handle say what Taylor did with grace.
yeah, yeah, for
Okay.
sure. And you
So
know
you
what? The
you oh,
funny,
I'm sorry, Mama. I was gonna say you're changing the narrative. And I mean by that is that I'm not sure how you feel about that as far as reality TV. It's changing, especially for women of color. I'm not saying nothing's wrong with all the love of hip hop and all that, et cetera, et cetera. But with you, the Ayanas, the Taylors, the Nayas, and everything that's coming on TV, showing us in the physical form doing these challenges against the men, and being on reality TV, do you see the change? Do you see the narrative is changing for us?
I do. And going back to Taylor, oh my gosh, she was amazing. She was so
Yes.
classy, so resilient, and I really respected her gameplay. I loved how she didn't give anything to the people that were bullying her in the house. She handled it with so much grace. And I can, you know, I speak for myself. Like I knew going
Mhm.
into the game that I was going to be my authentic self. And inevitably, I was going to inspire Black women. My main goal was to show that you can have it all. Women can have it all. We can have the careers. We can have the families. We can go on a reality TV show and represent ourselves well. And, you know, on the show, I was painted as a villain. But there are so many much more layers to me. And you know, it's unfortunate that the audience didn't get to see my vulnerable side. I talked a lot about my family. I talked a lot about I was the only wife. I was the only mother there, so it was very very tough to to be the only person there, and I couldn't really relate. The other players couldn't really relate when I would kind of go off in a corner and talk about my family and cry because I cried a lot in those interviews, and you guys
Man,
didn't see it. I was very vulnerable,
we
and
miss a lot of that.
yeah, but also I had a lot of fun. But getting back to your question, I was my authentic self, and I hope that you know I inspired women of color.
Yes.
I do have women of color, coming into my comments or coming into my DMs on social media and just thanking me for you know representing us in such a positive way, and that's all I want to do. All I want to do is inspire, and like I said before, if I've inspired one or two people, I am happy with that. But yeah, that's all I wanted to do.
And you did that. You really
Thank
did.
you.
With the fitness and everything. I mean, because it's not like I said. There's unfortunately a narrative that's us that we're only one track, we're only one thing. But there's like you said, there's layers to all of us, and so
Yes,
I love it. I love it. As far as even me being a blogger that does the challenges and these different shows, it's we don't just do like certain just shows. I do so many things, and so I love that you said that. Do
for
you have
sure.
any regrets at all of this season? Any regrets at all?
Yes, the only regret, I don't have any regrets on my
Hmm.
gameplay.
Hmm.
I was there to
Okay.
play a game. I knew I was going to be a bold, fierce, powerful player, and I was going to do anything I had to do to get to the end. And you know, and I think I played the game to the best of my ability. The only thing that I would change is not overthinking the end. What you guys didn't see, like I mentioned before, were the missions that you know unfortunately did not make the show, and also behind the scenes conversations. I won't.
That's the real tea.
That's the real tea.
Yes.
Um, I yeah. There were things that happened behind the scenes that I did not want to believe was happening, and Avery and I had a conversation. Which I will not talk about, and Avery
Understood.
probably won't talk about it either. But it definitely swayed our votes in the end, and it's sad. But you
Mm,
know, you win some,
wow.
you lose some, and I lost the game, but you know, I'm winning in life, and that's all that matters. And I know one thing: the next show that I go on, if I'm ever called to do something else, I will win it, 100%.
Please tell me you're trying to do the challenge. Please tell me you're trying to do
You think I
that.
should do it? You know,
Girl, yes, please. I think you do
yeah.
everything on there.
You know
I really
what?
do.
I pray about it. I run it by my husband, and if it you know, if he gives me the green light and we talk
Right.
about it and it makes sense, then
Respect.
you know, I'm not going to say no.
I think you'd be great on there. I think you're gonna be a brother too, but this is why I said a challenge because the challenge is a physical thing and you that's your world. And then also
Yes.
it's mental and you're also very astute. So I think that you would be able to maneuver and fool people and all these things. It's pretty much the mold if they wrapped up in one. It's
All
a
in
lot of
one.
money. It's a lot of money. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying
Yeah, it's a good show.
it's
I definitely think
wonderful.
about it. Yeah, for sure.
People are obsessed with you on Twitter. Now I know I always feel like I don't know how I would feel if I came out of a show and then I looked online and everybody was literally retweeting me all the time. How is that affecting you? Seeing
Oh my
how everyone's
goodness.
going crazy over you right now.
Yeah, at first it was a bit overwhelming. I'm like,
Mm,
I'm mother, I'm queen.
right, hundred
I was
percent.
loving it, but you know, I love my the people that are reaching out to me, and I'll try to respond to every direct message, every message that I receive on Instagram. And guys, follow me, by the way, the Joyce
Yes,
Weitzer on
I will
Instagram.
have all your information in the description. They'll have everything they need to find you. Trust.
Okay, yeah, but I appreciate the love, and I give it right back. You know, I'm a loving person. You know, it doesn't really come across on the TV, but I love it. I love it so much.
Yes, and the fans do really love you, and they do call you. I say mama because all my sisters, my women, mama. That's what I call.
Mama,
Okay.
yes, yes, yes. I
So in the
love it.
elimination, what was your biggest surprise? Like when they said turn around and got the red phone, who was your biggest like, what?
100% my bestie, Jacob. Oh my
Oh,
gosh. When he got the red screen, I was like, that really hurt
mm,
because after he left, I he was my rock, and you know, we confided in each other. We were playing the game together. We just knew we were going to be in the finals. And so yeah, when he left, I thought maybe with that last dinner I confused him or something,
okay.
and that's why he got the red screen. So yeah, and then I was surprised when my boy Greg went home as well. I was not expecting that.
Wow.
That shithole mole dinner, the purpose for that was to get in Avery's head. We didn't know how she was voting. We didn't know if she was going Jacob. We didn't know if she was going Kasi, me. So we really wanted to find out where her head was at.
Speaking of the food, that
Yeah.
food to me looks so nasty. I'm sorry, I had to say with the green peas pie. I said, what is
Oh,
that? I said
oh
that
my
was
gosh.
disgusting, and she was describing the air. Goes like, "Oh, this is delicious." I was like, "Mama, this looks really nasty." I'm sorry.
Kamisha, it was gross. Are you kidding me? That's, you know,
Oh my,
that's there again, I had to put on that poker face. I had to
you
play the
did.
game.
Oh
Yes, and
Jesus.
the was I will say I love spicy food, so I think that's why I was able to get
Me
fool
too.
everybody. Yes, and also apple cider vinegar. That wasn't bad because I take that, you know, for my health, and I put on my poker face and my actress hat,
You
and I
did that.
pretended like, you know, I had the good food, and it worked.
I thought that food was so doggone nasty. I was like, "What?" I guess it was where the y'all were at, and they was using their dish, but I was like,
Yeah, yeah, and the
"Gross."
dessert, it Kazi and Will had some like lemony, tarty dessert while we were eating like a spicy, bitter, nasty, like I don't know what it was, and
I
it
can't
tasted
remember
like
what that
chalk.
was. It did.
Yeah, it
Oh,
tasted like chalk, like a spicy, bitter chalk.
you
Yeah,
played it out so good. You were just like, like your poker face was amazing the whole season. You literally had the same face, a little smile, but it literally didn't change. Like, so if you were
yeah,
happy, sad, mad, or whatever, nobody knew it. I was like, she. Except for you came back. Now you said you weren't that mad, but when you came back, I'm sorry for sleeping on that cold floor, and she was sitting there drinking that hot tea or whatever she was drinking. You looked at her. I was like, for 2 seconds, she had to been like, "Girl, that floor was
Yeah.
cold. I wanted wine. What happened?"
Yeah, yeah. I was like, I think I made the comment like, you look nice,
You
you
did.
know? What was up with that? Like, why'd you do your girls like that? Really? On the floor?
Oh my god, was it cold?
It
Was
was
it cold? Was the floor?
yes, yes.
Oh my
That
god.
whole warehouse scene, it was cold.
Oh
Um,
Jesus.
we were tired because we just done the mountain scene.
Right.
Yeah,
Mm,
it was
mm,
not a
mm.
good look.
What was the hardest challenge?
I would say the mountain challenge, the snowy mountains, as well as uh, the other mountain challenge where we had the backpacks on our back.
Pulling
Um,
all that money, pulling all that money with her. You just seem very focused, but you seem frustrated. Like, especially when like the money fell back and she went running for it. I was just like in that moment, I was like, what is she thinking? 'Cause I just was in a moment screaming in
yeah,
my phone. I was like, ah, what is going
yeah.
on?
When I saw that edit back, I was like, wow. But she was the mole. I thought it was ridiculous. I thought it was very, very, very obvious that she was trying to be the mole. And a lot of people were like, "Did you not feel the sled get lighter?" I didn't. I was
Mm,
cold. My body was numb. I was going uphill, and I did not feel it. All I was determined to do was get to the finish line, and I could see a big block of ice in the distance. I had my eyes on that, and I knew that it was more money to add to the pot. I did not feel her taking the ice off of the pulk. I did not.
And see, to me, I understand what you're saying because when you're cold like that, you really cannot feel anything, and
Yeah.
it probably felt the same regardless if there was something there or not because you was
Yeah.
completely numb.
And
It was freaking cold.
they had to pause filming for a little bit because I
Oh
couldn't feel my
wow,
hands at one point. I thought I was getting like frostbite. My hands were swollen and they were, turning color. So the cameraman literally had to take like a warmer and warm my hands because it was so cold. That mission was unbearable.
wow.
Yeah, and the ice blocks were easy 45, 50 pounds,
Mm,
and just getting it on there. But yeah, a lot of people are like, "Did you not feel it?" No, when you have your eyes on the prize and you're trying to get to the
right, you
finish
focus.
line and you're
Yes.
cold and you're miserable, you're not. I didn't feel it. I didn't feel her taking the money off. And then the other challenge where we were traversing, off of the mountain
Hmm.
backwards, that was
Yes.
tough. Um, you know, Flying an airplane and being attached to a harness and relying on rope to keep you alive are two totally different things. Like,
Yeah.
I'm in control of the airplane. I have something under me. When
Hmm.
I am climbing a mountain and I have a shoulder harness on and I have to depend on that and I'm not really in control, it's a little challenging and it's frightful. So that challenge, and it was so windy that day. The winds were gusting probably 40, 50 miles per hour, and we had to complete that mission. So I say those two, the two mountain challenges for sure.
Okay. So I want to get this my final question, and then guys, after this, we're gonna go to Twitter so you guys can ask her a few questions. She's gonna bless me again with her presence on my Twitter space, so you guys can come through and ask her a few questions, and let her get on with her day because she's booked and busy. Uh, my last question I want to ask, and I asked everyone the same question: was it intense? Because it sounds like between the COVID, being separated, because I didn't know any of that stuff until yesterday. Um, was it intense for you? Because I was feeling like hearing about it, it sounded so intense.
Kamisha,
Mm,
girl, it was the toughest thing that I've ever done in life.
mm,
Someone asked me the other day, because I fly the Airbus 320, flying the Airbus, going on the show, which is the hardest. And I said the show for one thing, because when you're going through flight training, I have my husband to talk to, to vent to, like, oh man, I'm studying this system today. I'm doing that. And he's very encouraging. He's like, Joy, you got this. It's just another airplane. You'll learn it. with the show, I could not talk to my family. I didn't have my phone. I didn't know what was going on with work. And so to be put in these very stressful physically fit, and mentally fatiguing missions, and you combine that with missing my family, I
Wow.
it was taking a toll on me, especially at the end. I
Mentally.
wanted it to
Mhm.
be over.
Mm.
There were times where I felt like I would quit. I even told Jacob after that car mission, I was like, I don't know if I can continue to do this. And he was like, no, you're going to keep going. But yeah, it was just very challenging being away from my family and with strangers you don't know, and you're trying to figure everything out. You're trying to figure out who the mole is. There are some nights where I didn't get any rest because my mind just would not shut off.
Mm.
And the first time I slept like a baby was after the finale. My body was like, "Okay, Joy, it's done. You're
You were
done.
done. You were
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
Mentally,
You can
physically,
rest
it
now."
was, oh
Mm-hmm.
man.
Yep.
Even though
Yep.
it was so intense, I know that you have like no regrets as far as doing it. You just
Mm-mm.
didn't know what you were getting into, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
That's 100% correct.
oh,
Yeah.
oh, really? Okay,
Oh
but
yeah.
you don't. But you have no regret about doing the show, but you just didn't know about it, and that's different. But I'm glad that you did it. Like I said, you got a lot of people hooked on the show. They're watching the old season. Did you watch the old season? Speaking of that,
Yes, I did watch a few of the I think I watched season 1 and season 4, and I got into it.
hmm
I was trying to figure out who the mole was. I didn't figure it out until the end. Actually, the first season I knew it was Catherine,
okay.
but the final one, or the season 4, I didn't know, but they were very interesting. And
I
yeah,
haven't. I didn't watch it. I didn't really watch it. Somebody told me I should watch the old version more to see about it. But because I got into this season of of y'all season, and people are even talking about the next season. There's already talks that they're saying that they cannot wait for the next one. And I cannot wait as well.
I know.
What do you have going on as far as like outside of this? Actually,
I'm glad you asked, and thank you for that.
hmm
I am working on my fitness. I'm still, encouraging women via my social media platforms. I'm a fitness coach, so I decided to write a book, and it's going to be called A Dash of Joy. So I've been working on that, and
so cute.
in the book, I tell my story of how I became a flight attendant to a pilot, how I lost, the significant amount of weight, and I
Mhm.
drop little nuggets in the book, and I encourage the reader, and I think the reader will find it very interesting. It just, gives a little bit deeper feel on my life, and I can't wait to launch it. And spending as much time with my family as possible. I'm a family person,
Yeah.
and yeah, and just living life to the fullest. And of course, I've gotten back to work, so I've been flying the country, and yeah, just living life to the fullest, as my mom would say.
You should do you so you don't do anything like content because now you have a book coming out as far as like advertising that whether it be doing lives on Instagram, YouTube, or whatever it is. Are you gonna dibble dabble with any of that? Because like I told them guys, you guys are on this wave. Y'all need to, you know,
Yes.
get it.
Yeah, and I love to talk to you privately about doing content. I'm still kind of new to the social media world.
I
I just
got you.
started a Twitter a week 2 weeks ago, and I
Yeah.
love Twitter. So yeah, definitely I'll do more lives on social media. I have a Twitter or a TikTok as well. Love TikTok, and yeah, I'll be going live and just sharing more of my story with the audience.
Well, I got you. That's my world. I actually mentor black women who wants to get a brand on YouTube, Twitter, whatever. And I've helped a few women get monetized. So I love doing that. So yeah, I got you. I will be happy to help you because you right now you on this wave. Girl, I'm gonna
Yes.
get you started to a YouTube channel, get that
Thank
started.
you, Kamisha. I
I'm
appreciate
so
that.
serious. I'm
Yeah.
being serious because I think you need to continue to promote your book. You can talk about different things. Get your own people because they want to hear what you got to say. And I'm gonna
Mhm.
follow you. I think I'll follow you on TikTok. If I do, I'm gonna post a clip for something from this interview on there as well. So I need to follow you. Send me all your information, all the links the books, whatever you want, because I'm gonna put it in the description. So guys, whenever you click on this video, immediately all her links will pop up, her Instagram, whatever, her Twitter, so you guys can go follow her and check her out, because I want to see her do more content. She
Thank
is a breath
you.
of fresh air, and
Thank you,
I
girl.
appreciate you coming on here again, Mama. Now, look, we're finna go to Twitter so you guys
Okay.
can ask her a few questions. I sent you a link, it's in your DM. All right, guys. With that being said, Miss Joy came on here. I'm so happy that I got to have the queen, who is the winner in our eyes. Don't say the Williams. No say. No. Okay? She came through. She came through today. Okay.
Okay.
Pow, pow, pow. Period. All right, y'all. I'm so silly animated, but that's okay. All right. Once again, I want to say thank you and shout out to Joy for gracing herself on my channel and my brand. And we're gonna go over to Twitter so you guys can ask her a few questions. Until next time, I'm gonna be a Southern Belle and close the door. This is the